Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwichuk, and the purpose of today's intermittent reinforcement email message is to talk to you about a concept I call psychological push-ups. In rational and emotive behavior therapy, it's important to understand some of the fundamental ideas and then to create rational alternative attitudes that will help you have healthy negative emotions when facing adversity. However, once you develop this intellectual insight, you need to deepen your conviction in these healthy attitudes. One way of doing that is by doing what I call psychological push-ups. This is where you take one of your healthy attitudes and then rehearse it out loud. You may use a digital tape recorder and hear yourself say them into it 3 times. So you might say, I really wish people would treat me nicely, but sadly they won't. And they don't have to do so. You say that 3 times into your digital voice recorder, and then you listen to it. You do this at least once in the first part of the day, so that later in the day, when you encounter rude or uncivil behavior, you have this healthy mindset at the ready. The idea here is that over the course of your life, you've practiced the unhealthy attitude many, many times, and then in rational emotive behavior therapy, we talk about adopting a flexible attitude, and you understand that that would help you cope better with people in adversity. But your mind naturally goes back to people absolutely must or absolutely should treat me nicely. So by doing your psychological push-ups on a daily basis, you increase the probability of having them at the ready for when you encounter adversity. Now, after you've set that into a digital recorder a couple of times, you could do it later in the day again, or you could do it silently to yourself once or twice later in the day. You could repeat the idea. And then the following day, you could either use the same idea, or you can move on to another one, like, I really wish I would do things perfectly well, but I don't have to. And when I don't do well, I will unconditionally accept myself and strive to learn from the performance I displayed. So you then say that one 3 times into your digital voice recorder, and you listen to it, so that later in the day, when you mess up, you'll have that mindset at the ready. So I suggest you do your psychological push-ups every day to strengthen conviction in the healthier attitude. And then, of course, look for opportunity to utilize these ideas later in the day. Because it's only when we utilize and implement them in our life do we really deepen our conviction in the utility of this healthy mindset. So you might repeat them to yourself into a digital voice recorder and do your push-ups. But like an athlete, you really don't develop conviction in your strength and in your athletic prowess until you actually display it during the competition. So I hope that you would take to heart the teaching of today's intermittent reinforcement email message and give it a try. I would also like to remind you that on Saturdays, I hold the Rational Emotive Behavioral Conversation Hour. This is when I select a volunteer and hold a discussion with them and teach them some healthy ideas that they can then do psychological push-ups with. It's at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 2 p.m. in the UK. And 4 p.m. in Bucharest, 6:30 in New Delhi, 10 in Tokyo, and midnight in Sydney. I would mention to you that it's free, it's on Zoom, invite a friend, and after 40 minutes of discussion, I will take questions from the viewing audience. We've done it for well over 100 weeks now, and each week I get a chance to show the volunteer and the audience how REBT could be applied to a wide range of emotional and behavioral problems. This is a great way to see REBT in action and to help you, the viewing audience, learn it and internalize it. So I would encourage you to attend my Saturday morning Zoom conversation hour at 9 a.m. Eastern, but I would also encourage you to do your psychological push-ups day in and day out. Remind yourself that of ideas like, I want people to treat me nicely, but sadly they won't, and they do not have to do so. Practice those push-ups daily, and you will see that you have them at the ready for when you encounter adversity.